What are you drinking? Oh, I don't know. Blue? Can you fix this thing for me? What's the problem? I can't get to the next video. Next video? What the hell are you talking about? Can't you just search for a video? I've never used the keyboard. The one on the screen? No, I can't. It's too small. I don't use it. I just use YouTube. This is gonna be kind of a weird video, but I promise it's not about me complaining about stuff. It's about some weird stuff I noticed, and I was really slow to the scene. I didn't get one of these little hand brick things that browsed the internet until I was like 30 something, and I'm around people that are older than me considerably, and they just got one too. And I'm from a younger generation, so I know how the computer works. I know how to make the comp A do what I want, and I'm around people that don't know how to do that at all. So they have different ideas about a lot of things. And what I'm noticing is this weird new phenomenon of passive YouTube. That's what I'm calling it. And I've noticed that a few videos I've uploaded here and there, they have decent enough views insofar as the standard performance of my channel, but they got like no likes. Like years ago, I remember that if a video had 50 views, it had 3 likes, right? And if it had 100 views, it had 5 likes. And there was kind of like this linear progression to it. I'm noticing now that I've uploaded a few videos that have like 100 and some to 200 views and like 1 or 2 likes, which would have been very strange years ago, and not that long ago actually, because I pay close attention to these things because how can you not? It's just fun to look at. And I think it has to do with this thing that came out a few years ago. It's, if you don't know, it's this little monolith that you put in your hand, and it shows you like YouTube and stuff, and it's pretty neat. But it makes things very simple, dangerously simple maybe, because the old people using this use this a fundamentally different way from what I'm using it. I have 2 relatives. I'm gonna just kind of glom them together for the purposes of this video. But I see them doing this thing where they're using YouTube on the phone, and I just roll up and like, okay, what's going on here? And I check it out. They're not signed in. Okay. They don't comment on anything, and they've never hit like. So these old people have gone directly from television to YouTube. They skipped the middle ground, where YouTube was this environment that you explored on PC in the 2000s, and you remember when it was super interactive and it was nothing like television. Now I see them using YouTube as if it is television. And what specifically prompted this video was, number one, the fact that I get like no comments on some videos where I was getting a lot of comments, and then none, and then no likes where I was getting likes, right? This is not a complaint. This is something I noticed that I think might be interesting. Number two that prompted this was this relative, the YouTube app did no longer work on their phone, and so they were using the web version of YouTube, and it doesn't work as well, and they were using it, and they asked me this weird question, and they said, how do I get to the next video? Think about that. How do I get to the next video on YouTube? And I had to think about it for a moment. Next video? What are you talking about? There's no next video. You look for a video to watch, or you search for a video. And another thing that dawned on me is that this particular person didn't really know how to search for a video. So they were not signed in, and they were allowing the algorithm to completely take over the viewing experience. Like, that's odd. Why are we using YouTube like it's television? Oh yeah, they're old. So a person that is using YouTube like that is probably either very old or very young. So we'll say over 60 or under 10. if YouTube had to pick between two options, we're going to have the over 60 audience and the under 10 audience, or we're going to have people in the middle who know how YouTube really works. Which group do you think they'd pick? The one that doesn't cause controversy. The people who just allow the algorithm to do what it wants. The people who use YouTube like it's television. That's their dream. Straight money. Cash money, honey. Gravy train. That's what they want. They don't want people commenting. They don't want likes and dislikes. Be honest. We had the stars system, we had favorites and all that kind of thing. That went away. We used to have video responses. That went away. We had likes and dislikes. Now you can't see the dislikes. The writing's on the wall. They don't even want you to sign into YouTube. They don't want subscriptions. They want the algorithm to handle everything. And you know what was scary? I used this relative's phone for a while to use YouTube, just to see what was up. And then I used it again after a few days. And then a few days again, I used it again. And you know what? Without me signing in or hitting like on anything, or barely even using the search function, it wasn't that bad. It was starting to kind of figure out what I wanted, just based on the saved data on the phone. So long as you don't clear that, your session with YouTube kind of persists, and it figures out who you are. And it's kind of operating like, wow, this is pretty cool. I'm seeing some different videos. It's not as annoying as my YouTube is. And you know what? I think that's what YouTube wants. I think YouTube would rather we get this demographic into, like, you know, the 0 to 20 audience and the 40 plus audience are now using YouTube like television. So this is what I call passive YouTube. We're not signing in. We're not subscribing to anything. We're not clicking like. We're not clicking dislike. We're not doing anything. We're using it like television. And I think that's what YouTube wants. And as this goes on, it's going to get harder and harder and harder for anybody making YouTube videos to gauge what's really going on. And the algorithm itself becomes more and more of a black box. That's what I'm noticing. And I implore you, if you have older relatives, or maybe even younger ones, see what their YouTube is like. Ask them, do you ever search for a video? When was the last time you searched for a video? You know, are you signed in? Do you have subscriptions? Have you ever clicked like or dislike? Have you ever left a comment? Ask them this. I'm seriously curious about this, because it ties into what I'm doing here, but I did experience it in real life. You know that thing that's outside when you leave the internet? When you have to get off the internet and you have to go look around outside, you might encounter people who have a different experience with the internet because they're different people. I know it's weird, but I've experienced it firsthand, and I think it's just going to fundamentally alter the way YouTube is when it's just television. And it frankly doesn't sound very fun. But again, these things, were they worth it? Was it worth it to have a super, super closed platform where you can't really control anything? Yeah. Hey, you're young, but not that young. Sorry, Zoomers and Gen Alpha. I don't think Grandma's going to be asking you for help. What's it going to be like when you turn on YouTube on PC and there's no subscriptions, there's no likes, and there's no comments, and there's no search bar, and you just kind of pick a video, and then it just goes to the next video, and the next video, and the next video, and the next video, and the whole thing is a labyrinthine, arcane black box that none shall interact with, and indeed no one knows how it works. What's that going to be like? How do you make videos that the algorithm wants if it's impossible to understand? If there's no interaction, how do you make something that anyone wants to see? You don't. You make something YouTube wants to see.